Almonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Candace Owens happened to be in Russia recently for a, I guess it's the St. Petersburg, I always think of St. Pete, Florida, but the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. And people are saying, as usual, how dare she? How dare she? How dare she speak in Russia to our avowed enemy? She's a traitor. Thinking, what are you talking about? A traitor? There's no traitor. There's no treason involved in this at all. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? Putin is he? Let me just tell you right off the bat. The people who pose an existential threat to us are in this country. The thing that poses a threat to all of us is this country, is artificial intelligence, Silicon Valley. You talk about, oh my God, you'll hear about this, about the effects of, you know, the input of Israel and ClimateGate, climate lobby, and the gun lobby, and all the lobbies. The lobby that nobody can even compete with is that of, which is the most important, that of the big tech companies and artificial intelligence. And you know what's really funny? Going back to Candace Owens, it was so funny. I was watching this day. She is the most powerful person in the world of digital news. A lot of people haven't heard of her. Some people haven't, but trust me when I tell you that she is. And like I said, she went there and they said, "Oh, she's a traitor." And you know, before anybody continues to feign, because that's what it is, feign ventilation over her visiting Russia. By the way, with no evidence that she ever met with Putin. By the way, this is the front page of Drudge today. But it's worth remembering the long history of journalists and broadcasters and public figures who met with far more notorious and openly hostile world leaders. Barbara Walters, Baba Wawa, interviewed Fidel Castro, Muammar Gaddafi, by the way, whose name can be spelled with a G, a K, or a G, a K, or a, there's another one too, G, K, I think about the other one. Mike Wallace sat down with Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini, by the way, who was responsible for taking our individuals, our American, well, they were CIA operatives for the most part, but our ambassador or embassy staff hostage for 444 days. Nobody called Mike Wallace a traitor. Think about that. He said Dan Rather sat down with Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi and Ted Koppel and Larry King and Christiane Amanpour and Peter Jennings and others, all engaged leaders viewed by many to be adversaries of the U.S. Jane Fonda famously traveled to North Vietnam during wartime and in many eyes committed treason. I would be able to argue the fact that she gave aid and comfort to the enemy. But against this historical backdrop, Candace Owens, by the way, appears in Russia, and it's hardly unprecedented. Journalists and commentators have long argued that seeing events firsthand and questioning world leaders directly is part of understanding international affairs. And whether one agrees with Putin or not is really beside the point. The real question is why some encounters, why some folks or some meetings are celebrated as journalism while others are condemned as heresy. Why is that? History suggests that meeting controversial figures, I submit to you, has really never been unusual. But aren't you tired of this thing called the double standard? And by the way, one of the things which I wish we would do in addition to everything else is to teach people a very important thing, and that is how to think. I want to live in a world where we are absolutely open. Our minds are open to everything. And yet we are told constantly, shut up, don't say anything.